And rise up, arise like the day, arise up, despite all the ache, arise up, and up to be found. Thousand times again. And rise up, fly like the waves, rise up, despite all the ache, rise up, and up to be thousand times again. For you, for you, for you, when the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the word you exceed. Mountains reach its healing. Mountains and arise up, arise like the day, arise up, arise unafraid, arise up, and I'll feel 1,000 times again. For you, for you, all we need is hope. So that we have each other, yeah. We will rise, we will rise, oh, we will rise, oh, we will rise. Arise like the day, arise up, in spite of the ache, arise 1,000 times again. And we rise up, high like the waves, rise up, in spite of the ache, rise, and we'll feel 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's a pleasure for me to be here along with you. I'm Marvel. I'm an English and a Japanese teacher. I'm 41 years old, and I hope you enjoy this moment along with us. O nosso propósito com essa apresentação, com esse trabalho, é trazer para vocês uma experiência um pouco diferente com falantes de língua inglesa e aprender um pouco mais sobre a cultura destes falantes. Eu espero que todos vocês gostem e aproveitem esse momento da melhor maneira possível. Hoje, nosso propósito, além de falar sobre a cultura, é também falar um pouco sobre o porquê de se estudar a língua inglesa ou estudar também o espanhol. Nós vamos falar um pouco mais sobre o espanhol na quinta-feira. Você que já está conosco, eu peço a você que deixe o seu comentário, boa noite, uma saudação, para que a gente possa ver o seu nome. Enquanto nós estamos aqui na transmissão ao vivo, nós não conseguimos enxergar quem são as pessoas que estão nos acompanhando. Mas quando você coloca o seu comentário, o seu nome aparece para a gente e a gente vai citando o nome das pessoas que já estão nos acompanhando. E só lembrando que essa transmissão também vai ficar gravada nas nossas páginas, no Facebook, no Instagram e também no YouTube. Você é nosso convidado, você é a nossa convidada especial. Aproveite esse momento da melhor maneira possível. E eu gostaria de começar perguntando a vocês que já estão online o porquê de estudar a língua inglesa, o porquê de estudar outro idioma. Algumas pessoas estudam com um propósito acadêmico. Há outros que estudam porque precisam melhorar o seu currículo. Há aqueles também que se preocupam com a questão da empregabilidade, né? Conseguir um emprego. Então, ter outro idioma facilita conseguir outro emprego. Já está conosco José Eric. José Eric é da turma de intermediário. Seja muito bem-vindo, José Eric. Logo, logo nós vamos ouvir outras pessoas falando aqui também. Então, estudamos inglês, em primeiro lugar, por um propósito acadêmico, quando nós queremos avançar nos estudos. Nós sabemos que o mestrado, e para terminar a graduação e avançarmos para o mestrado, é necessário ter conhecimento da língua inglesa, nem que seja o básico, da leitura e interpretação de textos. Nós também estudamos por causa da empregabilidade. A empregabilidade tem a ver com a posição no mercado de trabalho, que cada dia está mais acirrada. Nós vivemos em uma época cada vez mais competitiva. E pessoas que sabem um outro idioma têm uma facilidade maior de conseguir um bom emprego. Também aprendemos outro idioma por causa das viagens, né? A questão turística. Quantos de nós já viajou ou pretende viajar para um país falante de outro idioma que não a língua portuguesa? Acredito que muitos de vocês têm esse propósito e, quem sabe, alguns já até fizeram uma viagem e a experiência não tenha sido muito boa quando você chega em um país no qual você não sabe como se expressar, você não sabe falar coisas básicas do dia a dia. E a gente acaba se valendo muito dos pronomes demonstrativos, né? Isso, aquilo, esse, essa, e a gente vai tentando se virar. Fato é, quando nós não sabemos nos expressar, não sabemos o que falar, é muito difícil curtir a viagem de uma maneira plena. Então, há aqueles que estudam também com um propósito relacionado à vida, a essa diversão, né? As férias, as viagens e por aí vai. Há aqueles também que estão estudando porque querem ampliar o seu conhecimento. Como que nós ampliamos o nosso conhecimento? Lendo outras literaturas, aprendendo com outras culturas, como nós estamos fazendo aqui. É tão interessante quando nós participamos de momentos e percebemos como as pessoas vivem de maneira diferente da nossa, né? A questão da alimentação, a questão das roupas, a questão dos costumes, né? Para nós que estamos morando agora aqui nos Estados Unidos, algumas coisas são bem diferentes aí do Brasil. E durante essa transmissão você vai perceber na fala dos nossos convidados algumas diferenças que são muito interessantes e que talvez você sinta isso quando fizer uma viagem ou talvez passar um tempo em um outro país. Há aqueles também que, como eu disse para vocês, querem unicamente por um propósito acadêmico. Então, eu vou estudar outro idioma porque eu quero fazer o meu mestrado, eu quero fazer o meu doutorado. E aí, revisando com vocês, nós estudamos inglês pela questão da empregabilidade, por uma questão de melhorar o nosso currículo, e estudamos também por uma questão turística, queremos viajar, queremos conhecer outros lugares, e estudamos também porque queremos ampliar o nosso conhecimento, queremos saber mais, aprender mais de outras culturas, com outras literaturas, com outras pessoas. E estudamos também por um propósito acadêmico, quando queremos avançar nos estudos, queremos fazer um mestrado, o doutorado, e precisamos da língua inglesa. E eu vou passar para vocês um vídeo bem rapidinho que fala justamente sobre isso. Alguns países que são falantes de língua inglesa e esses países talvez sejam algo, um desses países talvez seja um algo para você. Quem sabe você quer conhecer esse país, você quer ir até lá, conhecer da cultura e quer se expressar em língua inglesa. Então veja esse videozinho que é bem interessante e eu acredito que tem tudo a ver com isso que eu estou falando para vocês. Prestem atenção aqui. Vamos lá.
Major English-speaking countries. The primary medium of instruction and majority of magazines and newspapers are written in English. Most Filipinos speak Tagalog in their homes though. Tagalog is the local vernacular used in most conversations, but English takes the fall in education and in media. In addition, there are dozens of dialects in the country that are used by various indigenous people. Number 5. Australia. In the past, Australia was colonized by the British government. That's why it turned out to be an English-speaking country. Nonetheless, Australia has its own local language, which is called Stride. The country had adopted English, which is spoken in a unique kind of way. Often, Australians use both British and American English that misspellings are abound. In addition, it's common for Australians to shorten words to come up with a new vocabulary. Number 4. Republic of Ireland. Ireland has 2 official languages, English and Irish. The majority of public media are in English, while the majority of government notices and publications are in both Irish and English languages. You may not know it, but Ireland has offered English lessons to other countries who want to learn English. Number 3. Canada. There are 2 major languages spoken in Canada, French and English. However, English is considered the major language, with 85% of the population being able to speak English. Some Canadians can speak both French and English. Furthermore, there are 65 dialects spoken by the indigenous people. Number 2. The United States. The United States' national language is English. It's used in all medium of instruction, publications, media, and government releases. However, native dialects like Chinese, Tagalog, and others are spoken by the immigrants who are increasing in number. The American English has certain differences from the British English in terms of pronunciation and spelling. Number 1. The United Kingdom. English is the widely spoken language in the United Kingdom. There are also immigrant languages that are used by the immigrants. Scots and Welsh are spoken too, together with 11 indigenous dialects. The British English had various local interpretations, and there are differences in spelling from the American English too. Examples are armor for the British and armor for the American English. The accent is also different from the Americans. Do you want to go to the jar? Thank you for watching.
Então, aí nós vimos 6 países diferentes falantes de língua inglesa. Quem sabe um desses países chama a sua atenção mais do que os outros. Qual desses países é? Coloque aí nos comentários e nós vamos citando o seu nome. Já está conosco o José o Eric, o Robson, o Gustavo de Moraes, a Dulcineia. Acredito também que essas pessoas, alguns alunos estão assistindo no YouTube. E você que ainda não colocou o seu comentário, para que nós possamos citar o seu nome, coloque seu comentário aí durante a transmissão e participe deste evento. Hoje nós estamos aqui com alguns dos nossos professores e também com alguns convidados. E eu já passo a bola agora para o professor Rafael.
Hi everyone. My name is Raphael Lira. I'm one of the teachers here at Line Language School, and I'm very happy to have you all here. And let me introduce myself. I'm gonna share some pieces of information of myself. So I'm from Brazil, specifically from Brasilia. Brazil is the capital of Brazil, but I'm living in Miami, in Florida now. I'm 34 years old. I've been teaching English for over 12 years now, and I also teach Portuguese. Um, I like singing. I like watching movies, watching TV shows, TV series, and that's it. So now we're listening from Ana Luisa. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Ana Luísa. I am 18 years old. I'm also from Brasilia, Brazil. My family is originally from Rio de Janeiro, but I live here in Brasilia as well. And I am an English teacher, not for so long. I've started in line this year, so this is my first work as an English teacher. But I've been speaking the language my whole life, and I believe that's it.
Let's listen now to Viviana.
Hello, can you hear me? Yep. I'm I'm Viviana. I have a different name because here in Brazil normally people say Viviane with letter E in the end, but I have letter E. Yes. My mother said because she likes Anna. The name Anna is like Anne, yes, in English, and Vivi because I lived because I almost died when my mother was. So my name is Viviana. I'm a teacher. I'm an English teacher since I think 10 years. I've been teaching English. I graduated in English and Portuguese, but normally I just teach English because I just once I taught Portuguese. And I live in Brasilia with my mom, my son, and my brother. And all my brothers are from Rio de Janeiro. Just me was born here in Brazil. Yes, that's me a little bit. I like go fishing. I like watching movies, series. It's my hobby. Stay maybe sometimes at home. Okay, nice to meet you, Amber and Precious. You have a beautiful name, Precious. Yes.
Oh, thank you. So let's listen to Amber, please.
Hello, my name is Amber. I am originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I am currently working and living in Miami, Florida. I work at the church with children and youth, so I do lots of um, games and activities, camps, um, fun stuff with the children. So anyone under the age of 18, I deal with. But I'm a native speaker of English. I say I can speak Spanish, but not very well. Um, so that is a little bit about me.
Okay, thank you. Now let's listen to you, Precious.
Hi, my name is Precious. I am originally from Zimbabwe, but I grew up in Alabama and I currently live in Miami, Florida. Amber is my roommate and we work at the same place, but I am in charge of the homeless ministry. So we feed the homeless in downtown Miami and we also provide showers for them 3 days out of the week. I'm 24. I think I forgot to say that, but I like to eat. I like trying new food. So being in Miami has been fun because I've been able to try different foods from different cultures. So I'm glad to be here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, girls, for being here. It's going to be very, very helpful. Guys, just a curiosity about Miami. For you who live in Brasilia, that's you know what it's like. Many people who live here, they are not from here originally. That's the same in Brasilia, because just a few of the people who live there are originally from there. So we know how it feels like. It's hard to find to pick one. Oh, this is typical food from Miami, or that's the same in Brasilia. This is typical. This is typical food in Brasilia, because we are from in Brasilia. People are from Minas Gerais, São Paulo, Rio, and many other states in the country. So that's the same feeling. The difference is here in Miami is that we have the ocean, we have some beaches, but in Brazil we don't. That's why maybe Viviana said, "Oh, my brothers are from Rio, which is a very beautiful place for the beaches and many things." And in Brazil we live like 1,000 kilometers far from the ocean, so that's why. Am I right, Viviana? That's why you said, "Oh, I'm not the only one from Brazil who was born in Brazil." Feeling a little bit sad. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna share with you. With you, I mean you students, you who are watching us. I'm gonna share a trivia quiz, and I'd like you to answer the questions, and then we're gonna check them. They're about different things related to English speaking countries, and you're gonna see the question, and then you're gonna have a few seconds to answer. Okay, choose. You can type on the chat, please, your answer, and then a few seconds later, I'll show you the answer, so you'll be able to check either you're right or wrong. But please don't leave me alone. Type your answer. There's no problem if you don't know. Just try a guess, and then we're gonna check together. So let me share my screen. Give me a second. Sorry. So here we go. So first of all, you just have to choose the correct option. Okay, then wait to check your answer, A, B, C, or D. Question number 1. How many states, that's very easy, easy peasy. How many states are there in the United States of America? Letter A, 49, letter B, 50, letter C, 51, letter D, 52. I'll wait for your answer. Just type A, B, C, or D. Dun, 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 dun. Let's check it. Dun, 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 dun. That's fair. This one is just to warm up. Okay, very easy. If you chose letter B, you were right. 50 states. Let's run to the next one. Question number 2. What is the name of the UK flag? What is the name of the UK flag? Red stripes, Union Jack, crosses and stripes, UK crosses. To be honest, I didn't know the answer before watching this video. So if you know, chat. You can type on the chat. If you try a guess, even if you don't know, try a guess. I can see on YouTube. I can see your comments on YouTube and on Facebook. A few seconds more. Ta-da! Letter B is the right answer. Third question. Which country is a shamrock a symbol of? Which country is a shamrock a symbol of? Letter A, Ireland. Letter B, UK. Letter C, Australia. Letter D, India. Few seconds for you to answer it. Pick one option, A, B, C, or D. For you who doesn't know what a shamrock is, I'll make it easier for you. This is a plant with 3 leaves. Like the leaf is formed by 3 parts, and it means lucky. That's it. It's easier now, right? Ireland. Very good. Letter A. 4. Who gave the Statue of Liberty to the USA? Did you know Statue of Liberty was a gift from Japan, Italy, China, or from France? Choose the correct answer. Who gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States? Chan, 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 chan. France. Very good. Teacher Marvel, how is our student score? Good. Very good. Question number 5. What color are traditional London taxis? Color is written in British English, by the way, in this question, right? British English add a U after the letter O, right? This is the British spelling. What color are the traditional London taxis? Yellow, red, black, or blue? Make your choice. This is easy as well, I think, isn't it? Black. Traditional. You thought if you thought yellow, maybe because you watch American movies a lot. So, question number 6. In which season does Australia celebrate Christmas? In which season does Australia celebrate Christmas? So, Christmas is in December, right? On December 25th. What season is in Australia at this period of the year? Spring, winter, summer, or autumn? Autumn is also called fall. Okay, American English say fall, British autumn. Make your choice. Are you ready? Summer. Just as Brazil, right? Brazil, we're Is it summer in Brazil in December, guys, girls?
I think so.
Yes, right. So in the United States, in what season do you celebrate Christmas, Amber and Precious?
Winter.
Winter, right? Very good. Let's continue here. Question 7. When is April's Fool celebrated? Oh my God. When is April's Fool celebrated? April 1st, June 1st, December 28th, or August the 28th?
That's a trick question.
Maybe it's not easy as it seems to be. It is. Make a choice. April 1st. We also, I don't know if you girls know, but in Brazil we also have this. We also mention this date as we also call it April's Fool. In Portuguese we call Dia da Mentira. It's like the day you can tell lies to people, make them believe something that are not true. But don't do this, guys, okay? That's dangerous. No fake news, even on April 1st. Question 8. Where does the Prime Minister live in the UK? Where does the Prime Minister live in the UK? Windsor Castle, Downing Street, Buckingham Palace, or Houses of Parliament? Make your choice. We've been watching a lot about the UK this few days, right? So maybe you know Windsor Castle, Downing Street, Buckingham, or yes, letter B, Downing Street. 10, Downing Street. So we have 2 more questions. How many stripes are there in the American flag? If you look to Marvel's picture, he has an American flag right behind him. Maybe you can count. So, but you just have a few seconds. How many do you think are there? 12, 14, 15, or 13? Make your choice. 13. Very good. Last one. What is a double-decker? What is a double-decker? A taxi, a tram, a bus, or a ship? They're all means of transportation. But what is it? A double-decker, a taxi, a tram, a bus, or a ship? Make your choice. A bus. So thank you guys for participating. And now check your score. How many questions you got right? How many answers did you get right? And how many did you get wrong? What did you learn from it? And I have a question about Brazil to Amber and Precious. Are you ready? Do you have an idea what colors are there in Brazilian flag?
Yellow.
Yellow. Correct. What else?
Green.
Green. Great. And we have
That's
one
really
more.
like,
2 more.
I was like, there's more.
2
White.
more.
White.
White. Very
And
good.
blue.
One more. Blue. Very nice.
Okay, blue.
Congratulations. Okay. Now let's move on, and we're gonna have Marvel will share some of our students' questions. Okay, some of them recorded videos I'm very glad for you guys who took this time to record this video, these videos, and I know, and I told them beforehand you are mainly basic level students, so it's very good to see you have with this self confidence, being able to make complete sentences, and so thank you for these videos. And if you're watching us, you can also ask some questions using the chat box. If you have any questions, of course, guys, they're not specialized in all the states as as we mentioned previously. There are 50 states in the United States, so they don't know everything about all the states. Nobody knows actually. So make some questions, they can answer them, or we can also help some a little if necessary. So first we're going to watch the videos, and while you watch the videos you can type some questions, make some comments. Let's make it interactive. Okay, so you can play.
He is a right-wing politician and he defends values such as religion and family. In your country, your president is progressive and embraces topics such as drugs release and abortion. In general, how Americans deal with these issues: family, religion, drugs. Thank you. Hello, my name is Robson. I'm Brazilian. I'm 46 years old, and my question is: in Brazil, we have a conservative president. He is a right wing politician and he defends values such as religion and family. In your country, your president is progressive and embraces topics such as drugs release and abortion. In general, how Americans deal with these issues: family, religion, drugs. Thank you.
Do you want us to just hop in and answer these?
Yes, please.
Okay. I can take this one first. So, in the United States, we have a two-party system in our government. So, we have the conservatives, which are the Republicans, and then we have the liberals, which are the Democrats. And so, people in the United States can, when they register to vote, pick which side they're on. And if you don't want to pick a side, you can be independent. That's like another option. There are a lot of different beliefs in the United States. People in different regions of the country will have more, conservative beliefs or more liberal beliefs, but I would say that we tend to go back and forth. If you look at our presidents over the past few years, we've alternated between having more conservative and more liberal and progressive leaders back and forth. So you can tell that there's a lot of division in the United States right now, politically especially, because so many people are more conservative and not welcoming, and they want the church to be more involved in things with the government and things like that. And then you have more progressive and welcoming to like immigrants, and they want to keep church and state separate, and just different beliefs. So the United States is currently very divided, and it's very prevalent, especially around like election time. So we vote for the president every 4 years, and that's when you see it the most. We vote for other political figures every year, but those are not as big of a deal as like presidential elections. But Precious, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think you answer that pretty like simply without getting too complicated into things. So
That's true. I'd like to add that in Brazil is the same. We have elections coming next Sunday, right? We're gonna vote for president and many other things, and that's very similar to our situation in Brazil. That's not different. We have not, but we don't have only two. Officially, we don't have only two point of views, but now, since the last election, we have mainly two point of views, and that's the same. You explain. Okay, next question. It's a bit slow, but we're gonna get there.
I'm 46 years old. I'm married. My husband's name is Robson. I have a son. He is Gustavo. He is 12 years old. And my daughter, she's Julia, 16 years old. I'm a teacher from the elementary school. I like cook different dishes for my family, and I like to know a little bit about how the gastronomy is there. What kind of food do you like the most in your country? What's the most often in a menu of the wedding party and the little party?
Okay, let me just try to explain. She said she likes cooking, and what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite American dish, and what they usually serve at a wedding catering, for example, catering, or a small get together. What do you usually have, and first, what do you like most, and then what is common to have on parties and small get together?
I can answer this one. So for me, probably one of my favorite foods is chicken. And being from the South, I feel like the South has the best food as terms of like geographical in the United States. The South definitely has some of the best foods. That's where like all of the soul foods, or like collard greens, all the things that you can think of that's like kind of American. I feel like it comes from the South. And for weddings, it really just depends on where you are in the United States, and also like who's getting married, because it's just different cultures blending in. I know a lot of people choose kind of like a not like a potluck style, but it's like a variation of different foods to accommodate for everybody's different types of diets and preferences. So most weddings will have like either two different types of meat from people to choose from, and some type of like rice or pasta as like a base, and then a vegetable. But I've been to weddings where they've had just like barbecue chicken and like ribs and things like that for the wedding, or even like fancy dinners like steak. So it really just depends on where you are and what your preference is.
Yeah, I think there's so many different cultures in the United States. I really enjoy Southern food as well, but living in Miami, one of the like most common foods we've had is Cuban food. So having like rice and beans and like Cuban sandwiches, or like little like pastelitos and like pastries and um, things like that is very common in Miami, especially because there is such a large Latin influence in the area. But I think also for like parties and things like that, we typically will have a theme. And so we'll like have a pizza night and we'll do things like that, or just like for get togethers, or we'll have, like, oh, it'll be Italian tonight and we'll make spaghetti and things like that. Or we could have like a low country boil. That's like a really southern thing where it's like potatoes and shrimp and corn on the cob and like different vegetables and like sausage. And you just take it and like dump it on a table and you just eat it with your hands off of the table. So parties and stuff have different themes to it. So it's hard to say specifically like, oh, this is the most common thing. Most weddings will have a cake. Every wedding will have a cake of some sort, but the meal it varies.
Great. We had the opportunity to try soul food, and for you who live in Brazil, it's similar to comida mineira from Minas Gerais, like food, the food your mother, your grandmother prepares, right? So it's real food in general, and it's very tasty. So I recommend, if you get the opportunity to go to the United States, uh, go to a soul restaurant that serves soul food. It's great. If you miss Brazil, go to this type of restaurant. You're gonna have a good moment. Um, Ana Luisa, do you have a question to ask while the next video is being prepared?
Yes, I do. My question is for the both of you. Like, there were plans for Esperanto to be the official language of the world. You probably know that. But English, from colonizations and this stuff, naturally took this position. So, to be this official language of the world. So, in your opinion, like, how different the lives of native English speakers, such as you two, would have been if this had not happened? Like, it would be like from, I don't know, watching movies, and you usually don't watch movies from another countries. I've heard because like um, this scenario is just so strong for the United States that you normally wouldn't have to search for movies from another countries. So do you guys think it would be different if this hadn't happened?
You want me to go first? I think that Americans are very proud people, and they are very set in their ways. And so, a lot of like native English speakers I know, don't speak another language. And so the idea of another language, being like the dominant language in the world, I think that would be eye-opening to a lot of Americans, because learning another language is hard. Like, props to you guys for for doing this, because I have been trying to learn Spanish for years, and it is hard. And a lot of Americans, when it gets too hard, they will just like give up. And so I think it not that they're lazy. It's just, if everyone else is speaking English, it's hard to learn another language that's not English. But if it had been reversed and it was not like the main language being spoken, I think that would force Americans to have to learn another language, because you need to be able to communicate with people and stuff. So I think right now there's not really a need to learn another language because everyone knows English. But if that was not the case, I think they would, have to put in the effort to learn a new language to get by.
Yeah, I think Amber answered that pretty well. But like, being somebody who grew up listening to one language because my parents are from Zimbabwe, so they speak Shona, I can also understand how it could be hard to, have one main language and then try to learn something else as well. It takes twice as much effort to, kind of think and like translate, okay, is this how this is supposed to sound? Is this, am I saying the right thing? Because I know when I go back and visit like my family in Zimbabwe, I understand Shona, but I kind of get scared trying to speak it because I'm like, one, I sound very American while I'm saying these words. So is it going to translate well? And two, am I saying the right thing? I think it's just kind of like Amber was saying, like a pride thing, but also more of like an embarrassment thing. Like you're scared to be embarrassed. So it's just like, let me just speak the language that everybody else is speaking and that'll be okay. But I encourage everybody to, try and learn another language because you also just learn more about yourself as well, like what you're capable of trying. So, yeah.
So very good. Um, I'd like to add that here in Miami, we live in a different situation. It's different from the other states of the country because there are lots of Latin people here. So many people speak Spanish, Portuguese, and that's a little bit different from the other places in the country. So here we can see Spanish everywhere. So I'd say that it's easier for even the native um, English native speakers here to understand not only the language but the culture here. It's very common to see Latin people. So, but in other places it's not that common. So they don't speak Portuguese at all. They don't speak Spanish at all. So, but here it's a bit different. Viviana, do you have a question?
Oh, yes. My question is very different from the topic for now. It's about food, health. Uh, in the fight against obesity, what are the most important health programs to reduce the USA death rate caused by poor diet? Any program, if you can explain me about any program to reduce.
I know around like 2008 when Obama, his first presidency, Michelle was very big on like healthy foods in schools because that's where a lot of children that may be their only meal that they get during the day. So she pushed the importance on like healthy food in schools. And a lot of people didn't like that at first just because it was something new. But I think now, I mean, I don't know what they serve in like elementary and high schools anymore, but I think it's gotten better. And I think just in general, well, I know living in Miami, there's a big push of like healthy lifestyles and people that exercise a lot. So a lot of the restaurants and fast food places here are really like healthy places. I know where we live, there are not that many like McDonald's or Burger Kings, but it's a lot of like Chipotle's and Paneras, just places that serve really healthy food. Um, I think it depends on where you are in the United States, because where my family lives in Alabama, it's not the same case. Like there are places that have healthy foods, but it's not as much of a push as it is in like cities where I guess like social media pushes like body type. So like in Miami, everybody is supposed to be like fit and healthy, so it's easier to push healthy food options. Amber, you can add to that as well.
Yeah, I think that in bigger cities, there's more healthy options available. Whereas if you go out more into the country and like the rural towns, like just like driving on the interstate or the highway, there's not a whole lot around, and so fast food restaurants are more common, and so we have a term for those. We call them like food deserts, where they lack access to healthy food. So that's a new term maybe for you guys, but when there's lots of different options, or when you can easily access and afford healthy food, I think that allows you to live a healthier life. But as you go into more rural and they're more rural, but also in some of the in some cities, in the like areas where there's a lot of minorities, you'll find that they are lacking healthy food options. So they might not have access to fresh produce, or it might only be restaurant, like fast food restaurants, and not, they might not have like a Whole Foods market, or like a farmer's market, things where they can access nutrient rich foods. And so that's very prevalent. It's more so in like areas where there's a lot of minorities living, and then where there's more more wealth and people like that, they have access to the healthier foods. So I think it's just it's an infrastructure thing, and so we need to address what's causing all of the lack of resources in these areas before we can address the healthy food and obesity issue.
Oh, great. I also have a question about food habits as well. What because it's I know it's different from Brazil. Um, for you girls, how which is the main meal during the day? Is it breakfast, lunch, dinner, or and what time do you usually have it? Precious.
Ideally, breakfast is supposed to be the most important meal of the day, but I think dinner is usually like the biggest meal that most people have, and it's just the meal that brings everybody together. If you want to have some type of gathering, it's usually like, oh, let's have dinner together. Sundays after church, it's like Sunday dinner. We're gonna meet with everybody. So I think dinner would be like the biggest meal. Ideally, you would want to eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I think dinner is the main one that everybody catches for sure.
Okay. What do you usually have for lunch? Before Amber answers, what do you usually have for lunch?
Usually for lunch, I will have like a sandwich, something kind of small, but like heavy enough to keep me until dinner. So usually like a sandwich, or maybe like a salad or something.
Okay. What about you, Amber?
Yes, I agree that dinner is typically like the bigger meal. For me personally, I will typically cook a big dinner and then I will eat the leftovers for lunch the next day. And so I like to eat my leftovers so there's no food waste. But similarly, I'll for lunch I'll typically have like a sandwich or like a pasta or something that's filling but not super heavy. And then at dinner we'll have like a protein or a meat, a starch, and a vegetable. So like piece of chicken and then like rice or noodles and then a different vegetable, or like potatoes or something for a starch. But dinner is typically the biggest meal of the day, but for lunch I just eat the leftovers from the night before.
Great. That's very funny. That's very interesting because I've seen people here having cereal, a bowl of cereal at noon. For Brazilian people, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Like just a sandwich, or no, I'll have a salad for because we usually have a big meal for lunch. Rice, right? Am I right, Viviana and Luisa? Rice, beans, salad, and a protein, maybe, and a protein. That's that's very Brazilian style, Amber, to eat dinners leftovers for to have it for lunch. That's very Brazilian. It's very common. Like we cook at night in the evening, and then we eat the leftovers in the other day. But cereals for just a sandwich, pizza, or it doesn't work for Brazilian people. We I don't know. I can't say which is bigger, lunch or dinner. Ideally, right? Dinner was supposed to be lighter, but in my case, it's not. I can't. I usually I think the I have a big meal uh, at noon, around noon, and another big meal around 7 p.m.
And Rafael,
So
are you still having your lunch perfectly like here in Brazil? Yeah.
yes, sometimes when I'm out during if I have to eat something at a restaurant or I'm in a hurry, I sometimes have pizza or sandwich, but I can get used to it.
Yes,
So normally,
I think Australian habits are very similar American, because when I have been in Australia, I lived in a homestay and it's the same. Breakfast in the morning and lunch. They don't care about lunch too much, but at night, every night, dinner is very important for them. And I had an Australian boyfriend there for a moment, and then he used to say, "How can you eat too much food like that at 12 o'clock? If I eat like that, I will sleep, have a nap. How can you Brazilian can eat like that?" So he thought it's too much food for 12 o'clock. And then he ate just a banana and a sandwich. Oh, come on, man. You are almost 2 meters. How can you eat just a
a,
banana? 12 o'clock.
a bar of cereal or
Yes,
just
like
a small sandwich, that's fine. Okay. So guys, um, that's all for today. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much for you all, Amber, Precious, Ana Luisa, Viviana, and for you all who are watching us. We're gonna have another live streaming tomorrow at 8 p.m. So I'd like to invite you. We're gonna have different questions And that's it. You want to add something, Marco?
Just want to thank you, everyone. Thank you for your presence here. Thank you, my dear students. See you tomorrow at the same time. I think it's at 8 in Brazil. 7 here in the United States and 8 in Brazil. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Amber, for your presence here, for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Nice to meet you, Precious, Amber. See you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you for
Uh,
having us.
Okay, can I